An enemy! And this should be the easiest enemy and the easiest fight we have ever seen. Okay, I'm nearly dead. Greetings to you all, and welcome to Let's Play Warriors of the Eternal Sun, with me, Untitled Omega. Now, I'm one that likes to listen to the story in games, or read the story in games, because we're back on the Mega Drive, that's the Genesis, which means that we have to do more reading, and less listening. It's a Dungeons & Dragons game, that means there's going to be a lot of medieval style combat. Here is Hector Barak. He is our Duke, I think it said. I think of him as the King. He has smoothly animated faces and a nice, dithered stubble. What a beautiful man. Our bards shall praise our courage, and that will lead us to victory in this combat against the goblins. The guy on the right did not heed the bard's song. The guy on the left showing a bit too much leg. Utter terror in that man's eyes. Not that goblin's eyes, though. He cannot stand the shaking. And on the verge of defeat, we are saved. Goblin, soldier, and peasant alike. We are thrown into this land. The Valley of Impossibly High Cliffs. Welcome to Dungeons & Dragons Warriors of the Eternal Sun. The Eternal Sun is the giant red thing at the top of the screen. The castle-like structure at the bottom middle of the screen, which has now been obscured, that's us. This is an RPG style game, which means we get to make our own party, and I'm going to do this as fast as I can using my trusty sheet of paper. If you're wondering what was going on with the name of this video, well, it's because the team was suggested by very cruel people that watch me and made their suggestions. We put it up to RNG and we pulled a team out of nowhere, a nice randomised team. All based on your suggestions. And it is utter garbage, which was probably your intention. So well done, everyone. You just made this LP twice as long as it needs to be. Now, this is not going to be the most exciting thing you've ever seen, I'll be honest. This is stat re-rolling. I suppose we should explain the stats first of all. If you're not a fan of watching me press the re-roll stats button about 200 times, then there should be something on the bottom of the screen you can click to bypass this. Now, our first character is going to be a cleric. His name is Rowan. You notice I'm not looping left and right to save time. But this is Rowan the Cleric. I didn't ask what colours people wanted to be, so Rowan, you're green. That's a toxic colour. Rowan, you're blue. That's kind of dignified. Welcome to the team, Rowan. Next on the team we have a female thief. So if you want to select females, you first... Females, oh yeah. If you want to select females, you first have to select the male character, then select the same class again, because men take priority. It's an old game, it's from the 90s, alright? It was allowed back then. Do some stat re-rolling, and I'll talk about what I'm looking for in the stats now. So in the top left of the screen, you've got stats. Some stats I can't re-roll, like Thief, for class, and level is always going to be 1. But then we have a lot of stats we can re-roll. So everything on the left, you would think is useful. You'd be wrong. Strength is the amount of damage we do with attacks, and because this is Dungeons & Dragons, that's both melee and ranged attacks. This makes strength the most important stat we could ever have. 18 is the highest roll. This character has 18 strength. That's good. This character is going to go for... I like to mix up the colours, give everyone one thing each. Someone's going to have to take on Toxic Green. How does it look? Not too bad. I can work with that. This is Omega Heart. I've just spotted a That's not the way the name was written. It's the name it's going to be. So what other stats do we have? Well, we have Int, which you would think increases the damage of magical attacks from this guy, magic user, and also elf. You'd be wrong. Intelligence does absolutely nothing. I missed an 18 strength. Intelligence does absolutely nothing. So, good stat. Wisdom is intended to boost healing magics. I think it actually does work, which is something. But it's so negligible that we don't care about it. I'm not sticking with that, that's awful. Then we get onto some stats that do actually matter. Dexterity. Dexterity, you would think, is ranged attack damage and maybe chance to evade, something like that. You'd be wrong! It's entirely down to your armor class, which I guess is technically tied a little into evasion. Okay, I understand how that's supposed to link together, alright. Because in Dungeons & Dragons, armor class really is your chance to evade, not a reduction in damage taken. Something like that. It's your chance to take no damage at all. I don't know. I'm not very up to date on Dungeons & Dragons. But I get that meaning of Dex. You are one frail thief. Now you'll do. We've got blue and green. How does yellow? That is... No. My eyes cannot take that kind of glare. You are the male thief. I don't know if your name is even going to fit, but we'll give it a go. I hope I spelled this right on my piece of paper, because I'm going to blindly copy it. If it doesn't fit, we're just going to have to shorten it somehow. Oh, it's looking tight. We all knew that was going to happen. Rebellious Rog. I'm sorry, Roger. Your name didn't fit. You are now Rebellious Rog. And our final character is going to be a halfling, and for the sake of gender equality, it's going to be a female. That is one attractive creature. Changing the colour of a halfling you can get away with, because it just changes the shield. Where was I on the stats? Con. Con is Constitution, and that determines the amount of hit points you have and the amount of hit points you gain every time you level. That is a good stat, an important stat. If I could pick any two stats, I would be picking Strength and Constitution. The bottom stat is Charisma. Charisma is how well you present yourself, and how courageous you are, and how good looking you are. There is one check in the game for courageousness. I don't know if it actually looks at your charisma value or not, but I would hope it does. And there is no use for being attractive. This stat line, for example, has 14 in intelligence, which does nothing, and even if it did work, it would not work for a halfling who has no spells. And 18 charisma makes me damn attractive and suave, but utterly useless. And since the team is already garbage, I am going to try and make a vaguely functional theme, which means I want 18 strength. That is a nice, high total number of stats on that. And your name is... The Clap. I know what that means, but I'm going to assume this is the happiest halfling the world has ever seen. Any more stats we can go over? AC is your armor class. The lower it is, the better, strangely enough. HP is HP. When we were re-rolling stats, you'll notice my HP was changing. I think that's just tied to my Constitution value and not its own value. Whatever. Next level is how much XP you need to level up. Gold is actually changing as we re-roll stats. Each of these heroes has their own starting amount of gold. You'll notice that Omega Heart here is broke, and is just doing this for work. Aurelius Rog, he's pretty loaded. 140, same as Rowan. They're really funding the whole operation here. Our gold all gets pulled together. Time for some plot. Well said. This whole "our guards must defend the castle" is his way of saying you're on your own. I suppose the Duke is fairly grateful here, because he was about to be killed by goblins, and then he got saved by a mysterious void. So he's feeling alright. What about you, peasant? How are you doing? Thank you very much. I appreciate this greatly. Welcome to the game! Our team is being led by a cleric. This is not a sensible way of doing things. Let's have a look at some of the options and just set these things up. I hate bar graphs. I like numbers. We're going to change roster so that we put something... I'm going to put the Halfling at the front because 1, it has the most health points, and so it has the chance of being the tankiest, and 2, it's the most expendable because it's the worst and most useless thing on the team. Awesome. Return to camp. This is camp. I call it the main menu. Game calls it camp. Let's leave camp. Wonderful. Are you the most pleasant man? No, you're not. We'll see about that. Duke, how kind of patient are you? I mean, that's exactly what you said in the cutscene, Duke. I'm not learning anything here. This is Marmillion. Marmillion is a strange and powerful person of unknown gender who is able to change the music at will. Great. Marmillion will pay us for any artifacts we bring. It. Probably her. Beastmen have a camp to the northwest. Understood. The Duke wants us to bring allies. We shall massacre the Beastmen. This is the castle. The castle is full of secrets. Should I show the secrets? Yes, why not? This is a guard tower. Guard towers have doors. It's here. And you may have noticed the game just took a rather bizarre turn, in that a minute ago we were in some sort of isometric system. Talk about that in a minute. We were in an isometric system, now we're in a dungeon crawler. What's going on in this game? Well, it's twofold. The combat inside and the combat outside are completely different. So, sometimes I'll be navigating... Good kill. Sometimes I'll be navigating outside. Oh wait, these are prison cells. I just executed the prisoners. I'm a terrible, terrible person. Wasn't me. As a child, I never quite understood why there were enemies inside our own castle. As an adult, I understand. I'm a monster, and I have always been a monster. You. Suit of armor shop. I need some things. Now, you don't start with any armor, so it's good to buy everyone some armor. You'll notice I'm changing character every time I buy armor just to give it to each person. Can the cleric use leather? I think they can. Yes, they can. Just admiring it. Beautiful. Don't actually have to equip armor in this game. Something I am going to be procuring for all of my characters, though, is some weaponry. So everybody needs a sling, so we can attack from range. That's important. I mean, maybe the cleric can go without, but... what the hell. And I'm not sure if any of my characters can actually use a spear. Can't use this. Okay, thank you, game. Wow. Okay, the thieves can use spears. Spears are slightly better than daggers. I'm going to try and sound like I know what I'm talking about now. I think daggers roll a D4 and spears roll a D6. And if you're as confused as I am by those statements, I think spears do a bit more damage on average. Let's equip all of our gear. And get to explaining, I suppose. So each of my characters has 2 inventory slots that are always being exposed, which I'm filling with slings. These are your loaded weaponry. So down here I have a spell for a cleric called Turn Undead. If I wanted to cast it, I'm going to have to put it on my character. Go into a battle, cast it, open up the menu, switch back to sling. This is the way it works. You can't equip too much at the same time in this game. Hello, priest. Yes, praise the Maker indeed. Alright, don't go anywhere near the swamps. Understood. We will never, ever in this LP go anywhere near the swamp. You there. What, like your revive spell, do you mean? And the guard tower here? Pretty much every guard tower you can go into. I can't remember if there's anything in this one. There's items in some of them, but I can't remember exactly which ones. Thank you, tower. I appreciate that. This is the church. I'm not going to talk to the priest. If I have to talk to the priest, then things have gone wrong. Let's loot the church. There seems to be a recurring theme in all of my LPs that the church exists to be exploited for value. We've had all of the potions and all the staffs of healing that are intended to cure the populace. We took them all for ourselves. We didn't ask, we weren't given permission, we just took them. Wonderful house you have here. Thank you. You've been to the swamps? This guy must be at work. No, I don't want to say too much about these people and the kind of homes that they keep, but I feel like they could perhaps decorate the interior a bit more nicely. Perhaps a bed. I'm always a fan of beds. Dinosaurs in the swamps. Okay, now I know why to beware of the swamps. All this is doing is convincing me to never go anywhere near the swamp. Speed to the adventurers. No thank you, sir. We're doing this clean. Why, when you talk to me, I mean, you look like a vagrant, but you're actually eating a good hearty meal, so you're not. You're just... Thank you. I appreciate that. You see that? A bit of niceness towards him, and finally he acknowledges me. There are not monsters in the seat dungeons anymore, I assure you. You saw that door that was well drawn on the wall there? Apparently my guys saw it. The game is giving me all kinds of roleplay information at the bottom of the screen if you're into that kind of thing. So there's flour on the floor in this bakery. What is that? Looks like a bed. But this is a kitchen. Let's get out of here before we think about it too much. I am rather hungry, but we're going to have to leave it be. And possibly the best secret of the lot. Why this fence is shut, no one will ever know. This is the magic shop. We don't have any mages. We have a cleric, but... No, you'll understand later. You have to speak to this person to open the shop in order to walk past this person. Once you walk past this person successfully, you can rob the place. Wonderful. The Wand of Lightning. Also the sleep spell, but I mean, who cares? We've got the Wand of Lightning. The Wand of Lightning is amazing, because the Wand of Lightning contains the spell Lightning, and Lightning is a high-level spell. Being a wand, it is of limited use, but given that my party is absolutely horrendously terrible, we will probably have to make good use of that against tough enemies. It is time to explore. And that's it for this video. Hopefully you'll join me in the next one, and I shall see you then. Or, if you click the little link at the bottom to skip all of the party building and exploring before the action, welcome! I'll see you at the next video.